Good morning, everyone. I hope that this Tuesday morning is going well for you, that this week has gone great for you so far, and I hope that you're looking forward to the rest of the week ahead of you. I wanted to come to you this morning with something that's a little bit different. In fact, I want this to be a weekly thing. I'm going to call it Tuesday Talks, where it's just a little 3 to 5 minute devotional here at the beginning of the week to help you on your walk, not only with God and with Christ, but also in this walk of life that we are dealing with. Sometimes it'll be recorded like this, and sometimes it'll be live, depending on where I'm at. But just a little encouragement as we begin our week and as we continue walking through this life together. When I woke up this morning, if you are like me, it is hard not to turn on the news, or it's hard not to open up your app and check the news and just kind of read through what's going on in our world. And it's hard not to get a little discouraged when you look at gas prices that are rising to record rates, or inflation, the talk that we've been hearing about for the last few months, and or we look at a loved one that is suffering from a loss of a family member, or even a struggle that they're going through physically or spiritually. It's hard. And sometimes we can get into this groove where we question, God, where are you? This really isn't fair that this is happening. And I understand exactly where your question comes from, because it's a question that's legitimate. It's a question that many of us at some point in our life are probably going to ask, and you may be asking right now. When you look at some of the early fathers, those patriarchs, when you look at things like Abraham or Job or Joseph, there are a lot of things that they went through that, I'll be honest, I sit back and I say, that's just really not fair. When I think of Joseph being a young man, yeah, he may have had an attitude issue a little bit with his brothers, and kind of treating his gift a little bit more haughty maybe than he should. But then we see him in a slave situation. We see him working at Potiphar's house, and we see him being accused of a crime that he didn't commit. We see him left in jail, and all of that time, I wonder, did Joseph ever say, "Well, God, that's really not fair"? And there are things that are going to happen in life that aren't fair. There are some things that are going to happen in life because we are just part of humanity. We're part of this world in which we live in. In fact, Jesus said on the Sermon on the Mount that God sends the rain to fall on the just and the unjust alike. So we have this because we live in this world. But I do want to tell you something, and I want to encourage you that no matter what you see going on in the world right now, or even where we live, in our homes and in our lives, I want to remind you of something that Moses told the children of Israel. In Deuteronomy is kind of like 1 month of Moses just preaching to the children of Israel. They're on the doorstep of the promised land. They've been wandering for 40 years in the wilderness, and they've come to the doorstep, and he wants to remind them, hey, don't make these same mistakes that we made, that left us here in the wilderness for these last 40 years. And in particular, in Deuteronomy chapter 31, in verse 6, he's talking about going and crossing over the river, and they're going to face these giants. They're going to face these people that have great armies. And he says, I want you to be strong. I want you to be courageous. Don't be afraid. Don't be terrified. Because he says, this is why. God, he says, will never leave you nor forsake you. And I know that it's easy to get terrified. It's easy to get a little afraid of what we see going on in this world right now. We wonder, will it come over here and affect us? Will it affect our loved ones? Will it affect people? It is affecting people that we know and that we love, and we need to be praying for them deeply. But I want you to know that no matter what we go through, we can take the promise that God says, I won't leave you. I won't forsake you. I will always be here. Paul says in Romans chapter 8 and verse 31 that if God be for us, who can be against us? And folks, let me tell you, that's a great place to start. That is something that we can hold our hands on. We can wrap our hearts and our minds around, that God is always there for us, never going to leave us, and never going to run away from us. I hope that you have a great week. If you're looking for a church home, we would love to talk to you here at the Calhoun Church of Christ. Give us a call, send us a message, and I hope that everyone has a great day, and we will see you soon.